So in the previous class we have seen the basics of sedimentation basics, then different types of settling, that is discrete settling, compression settling, zone settling, and all those things. So today we shall see a small description of a video related to the sedimentation zones and all. So before beginning to today's lecture, so let us have a detailed description here. So yesterday we have seen that in a sedimentation tank, so there are different zones, that is inlet zone, outlet zone, settling zone, and sludge zone. So this is the inlet zone, okay, and this is the settling zone here, okay, and we have the outlet zone, okay, effluent zone. It is also called as effluent zone because influent enters here and effluent leaves from the outlet, okay, and this is the bottom is the sludge zone, and this is the sludge settling zone. You can see whenever the particles enter into the system, the settlement usually happens, okay. So we can see that solids are settling in the settling zone while passing through this settling zone. So solids are settled in the sludge zone. So this is a rectangular type of a sedimentation basin, okay, and you can see from the bottom the settled sludge is removed by the scraper mechanism, okay. So these are the different zones in a sedimentation tank. And so this is the assembly which the entire of sedimentation tank. So it consists of various parts, as you can see here, a circular outer sedimentation ring. So this, however, we will study in detail when we talk about clarifiers, okay. So this is just to again show you the zones in detail and how it actually works. So this is the inlet zone, and the water slowly flows out in this tank, okay, and this is the settling zone through which the particles is getting settled, and at the bottom you have the sludge zone, and these are the scrapers which are attached to the blade system and to a motor, driving motor, and this keeps on rotating at a slow RPM. Because of that, the sludge is collected at the bottom and it is removed, and the outer water is taken out, okay. So I hope you have seen the different zones in a sedimentation tank. So now we shall talk about what are the different types of sedimentation tank, its inlet and outlet arrangements, okay, in today's class. So inlet arrangements can be by the different settings here, which as shown in this diagrams. So it can be the multiple openings through the construction of the baffle walls, okay. So this is the inlet zone, this is the inlet pipe through which the water after the screening or aeration enters into this system, okay, and these baffle walls are meant to slow down the process of sedimentation. That means to hold the water for longer period of time for a given cross section area. So because of that, the water will slowly flow into these baffle walls, and because of that, the obstruction due to these baffle walls to the flowing water, the possibility of sedimentation will be relatively higher. So similarly, we have the submerged orifice type of thing here for an inlet, and after that we have a baffle wall. So this submerged orifice can be having the multiple openings. So because of that, again it retards the flow and it aids the sedimentation. So this is the perforated baffle. So this is the submerged orifice type of inlet arrangement, and here in figure C you can see it is an influent channel with bottom openings, okay. So the multiple openings can be provided in the bottom, okay, of this tank. So this is the inlet pipe, and through this the water will enter slowly and it will help in the sedimentation process. So this is the overflow weir type of inlet arrangement, so wherein weir is constructed against the flow of the water, and water slowly enters to this baffle wall area through this by overflowing through this weir, and again it is let into the settling zone, okay. So the very common thing in all this type of inlet arrangement is to prevent the sudden inflow into the sedimentation tank. So that means there could be some shock loadings, there could be some sudden inflow. So to prevent all those things, the water has to flow through a constant velocity under quiescent conditions in a sedimentation tank. So these types of arrangements are made in the inlets. Similarly, we have the outlet arrangements for the collection of the water after the process of sedimentation. Okay, so this is the weir crust here. So this is the influent launder. So the influent launder water will be collected, and we have the outlet conduct here. So through this the water will be taken out with the so this we have seen in this diagram. So the water will be overflowing from this weir crusts. Okay, so it will be collected and it is taken to the next unit of treatment. Okay, so this is one kind of outlet arrangement with effluent launder. So here we have another type of arrangement. It is outlet with weir plate. Okay, so this is the weir plate which is attached, and when the water overflows, so then it is collected in this chamber and it is taken away by providing an outlet pipe. And we have another type of outlet arrangement with multiple openings. So this is the outlet arrangement with multiple openings. Then water enters to this multiple openings into this chamber, then it is taken out by this outlet pipe. So similarly, similar to the inlet arrangements, we can also have different types of outlet arrangements so as to take the water out of the sedimentation tank and carry out the further process of treatment. Okay, so we have the different types of settling tank. So settling tanks are classified based on the three different areas. So based on its operation, they are classified as fill and draw type of sedimentation tank and continuous flow type of sedimentation tank. So based on the shape, they are classified as circular tank, rectangular tank and hopper bottom tank. So based on the location, they are classified as primary sedimentation tank and secondary sedimentation tank. So these fill and draw type of sedimentation tank are the one, so wherein the water is filled for a certain period of time, then it is taken out. So that type of tank is called as fill and draw type of sedimentation tank. So here the sedimentation tank varies based on the type of influent. So it will be normally up to 24 hours or 48 hours depending upon the area and water which is incoming. Then we have continuous flow type of sedimentation tank. So here in this case it is similar to the clariflocculators. So water will be continuously flowing to the system and it will be leaving the system, and the solids will be continuously settled at the bottom and it will be removed with the help of scraper mechanism. So based on the shape, so the tanks can be circular and also it can be rectangular, and it can also be hopper bottom type of sedimentation tank. So based on its shape, they are classified into three different types. Similarly, based on its location, they are classified as primary tanks and secondary tank. So it means that in a process of treatment, if the sedimentation tanks are located just after the aeration or screening chamber, then it is called as primary sedimentation tank. Sometimes in the treatment of wastewater and all, so we can also have a sedimentation tank after the biological process or after the coagulation or after the flocculation tank to remove the settled coagulated and flocculated solids. So at that time we can have another tank that is called as secondary sedimentation tank. So these are the different types of classification of sedimentation tanks. Okay. So circular basins are often referred to as clarifiers. Okay. So nowadays we have these type of basins. They are generally circular, and because of its circular area, they are not generally more prone to the short circuiting and particle removal problems. So they have the advantages compared to the normal rectangular ones. So these are quite common these days in most of the treatment plants. Okay, so this is the circular sedimentation tank and circular basin. So we have a central feeder through which the water enters, like you have seen in the small video which I have shown earlier in the beginning of this class, and the water will enter into the settling zone and the water is taken out through this launder which is present along the periphery of this circular sedimentation tank by the multiple weirs or by the weir around this circular periphery, and water enters into this chamber, and the treated water is taken out by this effluent through this outlet zone, okay, and it is taken to the next treatment unit. So this is the circular sedimentation tank. Okay, so this is the central launder which is having a small cross section compared to the outer periphery, and this is the settling zone, and the influent is taken through this inlet chamber, and the treated effluent is taken out from the this tank. So this is the circular sedimentation tank. Okay, so it is similar to the operation is similar to the circular tank, but the shape is rectangular in shape. The tank will be rectangular shape, like we have discussed. Comparatively, it will be having a longer length compared to its width and depth. Okay, so this also consists of a tank which is made up of a masonry or RCC structure, and it consists of a inlet zone, outlet zone, settling zone, and sludge zone. Okay, and it consists of a motor fitted with a raker mechanism and blades at the bottom, and the bottom is having a relatively slope so as to facilitate the settling of the sludge and collection in the sludge chamber, and the slopes are approximately 1%. Okay, so that the sludge upon settlement can easily pass flow through this area and enters into the sludge zone, and this is the sludge hopper which is located at the bottom here in a sludge collection zone, and the sludge pipe is made to withdraw the sludge settled sludge, and with the help of this sludge the water is taken out, and the sludge is again dewatered, and it is further treated, and it can be used as a manure upon drying. Okay, so this is the influent area through which the water is allowed into this, and you can also see a baffle wall so as to reduce the shock loading to the tank. Okay, and this is the effluent zone through which the water treated water is collected by flowing the water and collection through this flowing by passing through this weir, and water is taken to the next subsequent treatment units. Okay, so the earlier one was circular tank, and this is the section of a rectangular tank. So this is the another image of rectangular sedimentation tank. You can see here that this is the inlet, and this is the we can also provide a trough for floating debris sometimes if it enters, so which can be removed. Okay, and the sludge will be settled at the bottom. This is the sludge collection zone, and this is the outlet arrangement with a baffle wall, and this is trough for floating debris. If there are any floating debris which enters into the sedimentation tank, a trough can be provided. In the floating debris will be collected in this trough, and it can be removed, and depending upon the impurities like floating matter, it can be incinerated or it can be reused depending upon the type of impurities which is being collected in a sedimentation process. So you can see a sludge scraper pulley system. So this will be constantly rotating with the help of these pulleys with a belt conveyor here, and so thereby removing the floating matter and helping to collect the floating matter in this floating debris. Okay, so this arrangement can also be made to remove some of the floating debris in a sedimentation tank. So this is the circular sedimentation tank section. So you can see from the bottom the influent this is the influent zone. The water enters into this circular sedimentation tank through this influent pipe, and the water gets circulated here in this area in a settling zone, and this is the bottom is sloped with a slope of around 1%, and we have the sludge collection zone here at the bottom. Okay, so when the water enters the system through this influent channel, so the water the impurities will be settled at the bottom, and it will be removed using the scraper blade mechanism. This you can see here, the blades are arranged in a sloped manner at the bottom. So as soon as the solids get selected, settled at the bottom, so this arrangement is connected to a motor which is rotated at a constant speed, and it is collected, and this is removed by using the sludge pump. And the collected sludge has to be dewatered because it contains more than 95% of the moisture content. So it can be sun dried, or it can be centrifuged, and upon drying it becomes an excellent manure because it contains most of the organic matter, and the treated water is taken out from this effluent. Okay, so this is the circular sedimentation tank section. Sometimes you will be asked to write the diagram of a rectangular sedimentation tank or a circular sedimentation tank with inlet, outlet and sludge arrangements. Then you have to write this diagram, and you have to explain the different units associated with the sedimentation tank. Okay, so this is the gangway, so a person can walk over for the repairs and maintenance of this motor. So these are the rotor motors which are connected to this this raker mechanism and a person can go inspect oil and grease and do some maintenance work whenever it is required. Okay, so this is one more image of showing different zones of a sedimentation tank, of a circular sedimentation tank. So the inlet zone, the settling zone, the outlet zone and the sludge zone, okay, with a raker mechanism. So this figure shows the rectangular and comparison between rectangular and circular primary sedimentation tank. The top image refers to the rectangular sedimentation tank. So here we can see that the rectangular sedimentation tank is in place, which again consists of 4 different zones, that is inlet zone, outlet zone, settling zone and sludge zone. So it is having a driver motor, and we have seen that this is a at the bottom it is also fitted with scraper mechanism, and a belt conveyor with a pulley arrangement is also made. So this can be used to remove some of the floatable matter, and the driving motor rotates the raker mechanism, and the settled sludge is collected in a sludge hopper at the bottom, and the slope is relatively made at the bottom of the tank up to an order of 1 to 2%, and these sludge can be collected because of the slope which is provided at the bottom of the tank. So similarly, so this is the section of a circular sedimentation tank. So this slide I am just showing you to have a comparison between the mechanism and the construction of rectangular and circular sedimentation tank. Okay, so the relatively the cross section of the rectangular sedimentation tank will be longer, and it is having relatively less depth and width compared to the length, but whereas circular sedimentation tanks are very common. So, and because of its advantages of rectangular sedimentation tank nowadays, so these are mostly widely used in most of the water treatment and wastewater treatment plants. So this is the another image wherein the water is allowed inside, and these are the scraper mechanism. As you can see, the blades are arranged in a manner, and this is the scraper which is attached at the bottom, and this is connected to a dry motor here at the top, okay, and which enables to scrape the sludge which is settled at the bottom, and it directs the sludge to the sludge outlet zone through which the sludge is taken out and it is treated. Okay. So this is the rectangular tank in a 3D image. So this is the scraper mechanism in case of a rectangular sedimentation tank. Okay, and the inlet, this is the inlet zone, this is the settlement zone, and this is the outlet zone, and at the bottom you have the sludge zone. So this is the area where the sludge is collected. So the bottom will be having a slope of 1 to 2%. So this keeps on moving. Okay, so because of that, the settled sludge at the bottom is collected in this chamber, and through this the sludge is pumped out by this sludge outlet or by with the help of a pump. Okay, and this is the outlet zone. The treated water with the help of this collection tank, with the help of a weir or the different types of outlet arrangement which we have selected, can be made, and it is the water is collected and it is taken to the next treatment unit. So we also have the secondary clarifier. It is also called as circular tank. It is also called as clarifier. Okay, so this we have seen. This is the inlet and outlet arrangements. So this is the cross section. This is the 3D image. So like I was telling, there will be a gangway wherein a person can walk and he can perform some of the operation and maintenance and troubleshooting problems associated with the sedimentation tank. So this is the inner ring, and this is the steel scraper mechanism, and this is the driving motor unit, so which is connected to this raker mechanism, and at the bottom we have the sludge collection area. So the bottom will be sloped of 1 to 2%, and this is the overflowing weir which you can see here. And when the water enters to the central influent manifold, the central influent entrance, so water will slowly get collected in this area, and the sludge will be settled at the bottom, and from the outlet weir the water is collected in this chamber and it is taken to the next treatment unit. So this is the 3D view wherein you can have more understanding of the different units and its arrangement. Okay, so the design part of this rakers and all those things is not there in your syllabus, so you have to probably learn these things by for your extra knowledge, so that if you want to increase your knowledge more in the design of sedimentation tanks and all, so we have to, so these are kind of composite structures wherein steel is also used, and these walls can be made up of concrete or masonry. So most probably because of the bigger units, so these are normally designed as an RCC tanks with the reinforced structures to withstand the water pressure. So so it is a composite structure involving the steel and also the concrete structures in the design of sedimentation tanks. So this is vertical flow type sedimentation tank, or you can also call it as an hopper bottom type. So the bottom you can see it is a sloped one. So we have an influent channel, we have the effluent channel, and we have the hopper bottom type kind of arrangement here. Okay, so this is one more type of sedimentation tank. So based on its shape, so it can be the another shape, that is rectangular, circular, and this is the hopper bottom. It is called as an hopper bottom because the bottom of the tank is made into a hopper shape so as to facilitate to collect the sludge. Okay, so for that reason the bottom is relatively having more slope and it is in the shape of a hopper kind of arrangement. So that's why it is called as hopper bottom type of tank. So this is the launder and the effluent channel, and it is the treated water is collected, and this is the sludge pipe, so which is used to pump the sludge and remove the sludge and treat it. Okay, so with the help of sludge pump, the sludge can be removed and collected in a tank, and it can be directly used as a manure, or it has to be dried to remove the excess of moisture content. Okay, so we have another type of tube settlers and plate settlers. Okay, so they are the advanced form of the improvised version of the tanks. So it can also be used as a sedimentation tanks. So they are called as tube settlers and plate settlers. So here, so you can see in a tank, so these tubes, the multiple channels of these tubes are placed at an angle of 60 degree in this settling area. So these are placed because it will slow down the flowing the velocity of the incoming water. So because of that there will be more room for collection of the sludge. So they are called as tube settlers. So they can also be used in the treatment of water. So they are the improvised version of the sedimentation tank. So they also have the 4 zones like we have discussed: the inlet zone, outlet zone, the sludge zone, and also the settling zone. So advantages, these are some of the advantages of the tube settlers. Okay, so it can operate at 2 to 4 times the normal rate of clarifying basins with the efficiency is relatively higher. So here it can reduce the dosage of coagulants, okay, and less filter backwashing equates to significant operating. It saves the cost and electricity, and new installations of the using tube setters can be designed smaller because of increased flow capacity, and flow of existing water treatment plants can be increased to the addition of the tube settlers. Okay, so tube settlers increase all allow flow capacity by expanding settling capacity and increase the solids removal rate in the settling tanks. So these are some of the advantages of tube settlers compared to the normal regular rectangular and circular clarifiers. Okay, so we also have the another form of settlers called as plate settler or lamella clarifiers. Okay, so they are often employed in primary water treatment plant in place of conventional settling tanks. So they are also used in industrial wastewater treatments. So here, so these lamella clarifiers are provided with inclined plates so as to facilitate the increased sedimentation process. Okay, so because of the plates, the inlet stream is stilled upon the entry into the clarifiers. So when the water has to move through all these plates, so these plates will act as smaller sedimentation units. So the solids tend to accumulate on the plates, or it is the lamella plates in a lamella clarifier. So then again the sludge is drawn up at the bottom of the hooper, and the clarified liquid exits the unit over the top of the weir. Okay, so this is the diagram wherein you can see the lamellar the clarifiers are placed vertically at an angle of 60 degree against the flow of the incoming water, and this is called a stilling chamber. So because of these arrangements, the water has to flow through all these chambers, and because of the reduction in the velocity, the solids tend to accumulate on this plates, and this can be the settled solids will flow down, and it is collected in the sludge zone. And sludge can also be thickened, that is to sludge thickening is a process wherein the sludge is subjected to moisture removal by the process of belt conveyor mechanism to remove the excess of moisture, and the sludge is taken out from the sludge outlet. Okay, so this can also be used as a sedimentation tank. So they are slight modification of the existing rectangular and sedimentation tank with the addition of these plates and tube settlers. So that's why they have the name of tube settlers if we have installed the tubes in the inlet arrangements of the sedimentation tank in a settling zone. Similarly, if you have the plates, then it is called as the lamella clarifier. So this is the different types and classification of the sedimentation tanks. So these are some of the advantages of the lamella clarifiers. So because of the increase in the sedimentation area with the help of these plates, so it will improve the sedimentation process. So they are quite compact, that means they require only 65 to 85% of the area of clarifiers operating without inclined plates, and it can be placed where there is some space restrictions. So that means if the land value is more, and if there are some space restrictions, then instead of going for bigger larger rectangular and circular sedimentation tanks, then we can upgrade the facilities by providing lamella clarifiers, which require less space. Okay, and also the plates can operate with overflow rates of 2 to 4 times than that of traditional clarifiers. So that means it can also handle the more flow in comparison with the regular rectangular and sedimentation tanks. Okay, and they also offer a simple design without requiring use of much chemicals. Okay, so but the problem with this laminar clarifier, what I feel is because of the the cleaning is a difficulty here. So because the plates, there will be a very less space between these lamella clarifiers. So with all these advantages, so we require regular operation, cleaning and maintenance of these plates to increase the efficiency of the sedimentation process. So that is I can say is the only disadvantage of this lamella clarifier and tube selectors. So we have to frequently clean them so as to increase the efficiency of the sedimentation process. Okay, so this is the mechanism of the plate settler. Okay, so you can see here the particles getting deposited here on the this is the settling rate. Whenever it comes and hits this plate, inclined plates, it starts to deposit here and slowly it trickles down and it will be collected at the bottom. So these plates are placed at an angle of 60-degree inclined to the flow of the water. Okay, so you can see here, so this is the inlet and the water will be flowing through this outlet clarifier, and the bottom is made in a hooper shape and sludge is collected and it is discharged. Okay, so let us stop at this stage. Sedimentation is one of the important process in the treatment of water, like and like aeration. So this is the next process which is quite important, and so this is about different types of sedimentation tank: circular, rectangular. In detail we learn about the clarifier and its working, probably with the help of a video, and also that you can understand the process in a better way. I hope you have come across and you have seen the different types of inlet and outlet arrangements, its working and its process, and different zones and different types of settling in case of the water treatment related to the sedimentation tank. So probably we shall also have a small try to have a small video of this to understand the things clearly, probably in the next class, so that so the things will look